Bitcoin surpassed $100,000 per coin for the first time ever back in December of 2024, and I think it's always going to remain the largest crypto by market cap. Currently, it's valued at over $2.4 trillion, and massive institutions have invested tens of billions of dollars into Bitcoin, and they plan on buying hundreds of billions over the coming years. In terms of TVL, though, in terms of DeFi, Bitcoin struggles because the big problem with Bitcoin is that you can't really gain all of the benefits of DeFi with like staking and working across different blockchains and having a yield. It's just not really possible. And so that's why Ethereum is the #1 crypto in terms of DeFi TVL, total value locked. So the thing that I've been doing a lot over the last 2 to 3 years is buying a lot of WBTC, which is, if you look at it, just a way to be able to use Bitcoin across like DeFi, and it provides an avenue for users to move Bitcoin across blockchains while unlocking a bunch of different opportunities. And so it sets a new Bitcoin standard that's ultimately multi-chain, secured, fast, efficient, and it creates a trusted way for people to use Bitcoin in decentralized finance. And this is something that is really cool in my opinion, because WBTC is really just Bitcoin's passport to DeFi. It says Bitcoin made multi-chain, and it says one BTC, composable, verifiable, and scalable wherever value moves. So there's over 530,000 WBTC users, over 127,000 plus WBTC circulation supply, over a $14 billion market cap. And so the cool thing about WBTC is really that it's just, in my opinion, the trusted standard for Bitcoin in DeFi. And if you look at it, it's used by a number of different protocols. If we go to WBTC, we look at their pinned tweet, you could see how they posted about enter a new Bitcoin era with opportunities from WBTC partners. It says you can use like WBTC with a ton of different protocols, and they list some of these like Starknet, Pancake Swap, Concrete XYZ, Renzo Protocol, Hyperion XYZ, Navi Protocol. Like they say, Navi Protocol offers a WBTC lending pool with a current supply of $53.3 million. Echelon Market provides an incentivized WBTC lending pool for users to earn yield on their deposits. Tap Exchange, Volo, Thala Labs, Shadow on Sonic, like the list goes on and on. We see Beefy Finance, Sonic Labs, Teleswap, Hemi XYZ, Structured Fi, Saros. Like this is something that is really important because using your BTC to generate some yield, to get some benefits from it, is something that's really important, and I think is something that we're going to see more and more long term. And the way to do this is with WBTC, because really, like Bitcoin, everyone knows it's the largest crypto by market cap, and people think of it as a store of value, but I think Bitcoin is really more than a stored value, and it's more than just buying and selling. There's a lot more you can do with Bitcoin in DeFi, with like lending, borrowing, providing liquidity, yield farming, and a lot more. And all these different protocols use WBTC to enable that. And so Bitcoin lives on its own native network, but in order for it to be able to move into DeFi, WBTC is its agent. It's what's necessary for it to be that. So let's go over a few more things with WBTC. I'm sure everyone already knows about WBTC, but WBTC is like the OG Bitcoin, OG for Bitcoin representation. It's been around since like 2019. You can look at their website, see all about this in the About section. And so it moves Bitcoin into DeFi for yield earning. So if you plan on holding Bitcoin, but you want to earn some yield on your Bitcoin, WBTC is the perfect thing to do this, because you can't generate yield on your Bitcoin just keeping it, on Bitcoin's network. You need to move it somewhere else. So the way it works is that you deposit your Bitcoin to mint WBTC 1-to-1. Then you use your WBTC to participate in DeFi protocols. Very simple, very transparent, very easy. And if you want to redeem it, you just burn your WBTC to redeem your BTC. But again, it's so simple and easy, and it's not like you really even have to think about it, because WBTC is available on all the exchanges: Binance, Bybit, BitGet, Gate, MEXC, KuCoin, the list goes on and on. In addition to this, what we're seeing in 2025. And like I mentioned earlier, right now, BTC covers most of the major chains like Ethereum, Solana, and like the big ones out there. So all you need is just WBTC, and you can move it cross chains conveniently with nearly zero gas fees. So WBTC sets the new standard for Bitcoin, and it makes Bitcoin multi-chain. So the thing is like I said, right now you can get WBTC on all of the big exchanges out there. Most wallets already support it, and like this new Bitcoin era is something that is so important for crypto as a whole, because it's going to allow people to have incentives for, like Bitcoin, yield with their Bitcoin, generate some passive income rather than just buying and selling. And so something that I think is really important is what all of these different protocols are doing with WBTC. They have different yield pools, different lending, liquidity pools. They have different yields. All of them, have different offers, but really the most important thing is that WBTC allows you to take your Bitcoin and use it in DeFi. So whether or not you own Bitcoin or not, like everyone knows that Bitcoin is here to stay. Institutions own it more than any other asset by far. So being able to take advantage of your Bitcoin holdings is just so important in my opinion. And that's why, we've never talked about WBTC before, but I think it's something that's necessary, and it's not talked about enough in crypto, because the truth is like the only way you can bring Bitcoin for like DeFi activities and benefit with yield and liquidity pools is with WBTC. So I thought this video was necessary to help anyone new in crypto learn that it's important to own Bitcoin, but if you want to use Bitcoin for DeFi, WBTC is the only way to do it.